appropriation to make a very small change to statute that Mike will walk us through. And that last week, we essentially heard the background from the commissioner on why this was a request. And Mike will walk us through the actual statute language that's been proposed. And then we'll have a chance to ask questions about that. If we think anything needs to be changed with it, we can have that conversation.
Sure. And I just sent Alara the wrong.
That's fine. I'll keep talking. And then once we've finished with that, then Mike's going to walk us through a second proposed bill. These will both be committee bills. Second bill is a request from the Agency of Agriculture to make a handful of changes to existing statute. And there's something happens every year. They go through and they compile as they're going, oh, it'd be nice if we fix this, change that. We will get the walkthrough today, and then tomorrow, I think we're having the agency come over and sort of explain their take on why these things are necessary. Both of these should be pretty straightforward. I imagine anyway, there won't be a lot of controversy or a request for additional testimony for anyone, but there could be. So we'll see about that. Okay.
Should I begin?
I think you can begin, yeah.
For the record, this is Mike O'Grady with Legislative Counsel. What you're looking at is an amendment to the Commissioner of Forests and Parks authority to set standards for town forest fire wardens, including the requirements for open burning permits. The Commissioner approves town fire wardens under a separate section, NVSA 2641, when requested by a select board. And then there are requirements for when an open burning permit can be issued. There's general requirements under 10 VSA 2645. A person shall not kindle or authorize another person to kindle a fire in the open air for the purpose of burning natural wood, brush, weeds, etc., without first obtaining permission from the town forest fire warden or deputy warden. There are exceptions to that. But what is being added was language that specifies that the town forest fire warden, the commissioner can set limits on when a burning permit, an open burning permit, can be issued. So with the written approval of the secretary during periods of increased fire hazard, the commissioner may notify town wardens that for a specified period, no burning permit shall be issued. The fire warden shall issue no permits during the specified period. Now that language used to be in statute, but in 2015, the fire warden statutes were totally rewritten and this language dropped out. And the department is recognizing that they really need to have this, especially in the dry summers that we've had and springs when forest fires are prevalent.
Are there changes further down, Mike, or is that?
No, that's it.
Okay.
The rest of it is to just, you'll see that there's the exceptions to the open burning permit when you're burning on snow, when you're burning in stone arches, when you're kindling more than 200 feet away from woodland, and then in cities with a fire department.
Questions? I have a couple of them.
So the only one change is to that one word, may to shall.
No, this entire subsection will
It's
be,
right here with underlined.
yep. This is the approval that the commissioner is looking for.
There was a may to shall up above there, though. What was that?
But there, yeah.
So this really is more of a technical drafting thing. When you, the legislature wants to ban something, you don't use the permissive, you use the prohibitive. So this is a provision that says wood, brush, weeds shall not be burned if they've been altered in any way by paints, oils, et cetera. It really should have been shall and should never have been may. It's a prohibition.
So we're cleaning that up too.
Yep.
Okay. And we would not be changing that one word in this particular statute unless we were also looking at the,
I changed it because I was reading through the statute and I said should.
opportunity. Yeah. Okay. Representative O'Brien?
Mike, who issues burn permits if the fire warden and deputy fire warden positions are vacant?
If they what?
Are vacant in a town?
The select board technically has the authority at that point. There's also the issue of compliance. People not seeking a burn permit and burning without one. That's technically illegal and you can be fined by any law enforcement officer for that.
Did you have another follow-up?
Yeah, I just wondered does this cover, we were talking about agricultural burns or maybe forest type control burns, for improving habitat or?
That's not one of the exceptions. So I would recommend that in that situation, you would get a permit. Because it's not on snow, it's not in an outdoor fireplace or ring. It's not 200 feet from woodland, timberland if you're burning on the edges of the forest. And it may be within a city with a fire department, but I would still recommend that you get the permit.
Representative Graham?
Actually, more of a comment question. Last summer, it was extremely dry here. And my son's actually fire chief in Williamstown. And he was telling me one day, he says, there's several other fire departments in the area here. He says, we're wondering why doesn't the state put a statewide burn ban? Because when they do it, sometimes they get a lot of harassment, So now I got the answer.
Yeah, they can.
So, yeah.
And I think this gives them the ability to do it regionally as well. If it's an issue in certain areas. Fires break out on the backside of the State House like every couple of years, and because in the spring after the thaw.
It's the most vulnerable time. No foliage out.
Representative Bryce?
To the point of being able to do it regionally, it says may notify town fire wardens. Is that clear enough that they may notify either all town fire wardens or a specific subsect of town fire wardens?
I think there's flexibility there. It could be more detailed. You're correct. It could be more specific. But I think it's with the written approval of the secretary, the commissioner may notify. And so I think if the secretary said, this is what you're approved to do, the Northeast Kingdom or Orleans, I think that would be authorized here.
And also, so what is statewide?
Yep.
This is the Secretary of Natural Resources,
Yep.
Commissioner of Forest Parks, Recreation. Okay, Representative Graham?
So can they issue like a burn ban for certain parts of the state, or does it have to be all the state or nothing?
So just as I was indicating, I think if it will depend on the secretary's approval, but I think if she said you only have the approval for a ban in Windsor, then I think that would be allowed.
I don't know that we heard this exactly, but it occurred to me that possibly it wasn't, so this language, I understand that the language inadvertently dropped in 2015 or 2016. I'm not sure that we heard this, but it occurred to me that possibly, since it was inadvertent, there were directives being issued during the past 6 or 7 years until somebody realized that the language disappeared.
I don't know if the department has been issuing bans or not.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. So we won't
In
belabor that, but, yeah. Okay, well, unless there are any other questions about the language, or the, well, let's just talk about the process a little bit. It has my name on it at the moment, but we're gonna make this a committee bill. And I think the thought was to not stretch this out any longer. I don't think that there's a whole lot of concern about moving ahead here. And given the nature of the bill, I think we shouldn't hang on to it any longer than we need to. So we'll have Mike redraft it as a committee bill and bring it in tomorrow. And then we'll just make sure there aren't any final questions. If anybody overnight listening to our meetings afternoon has any questions, they'll certainly be in touch. And barring that, we'll plan to have any further discussion, and then we have it listed as potential voting tomorrow. And then we'll send it off to the House, to the rest of our colleagues. It'll be our first bill out of committee.
something off the wall.
All right, then, don't get up, anybody? Including our witness, who's gonna walk us through something entirely different. And are these, oh Laura, do we have these on our page now?
That one, the one you just walked through, you have, and I'm doing this
Okay,
one.
all right, good, thank you.
And I'm just gonna stop the live stream and start it again.
Okay.
So it's different subjects.